Hey everyone, welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast and we're going to talk about some different albums that we're listening to. Right now we're going through the staff pick list on the consequenceofsound.net. We're talking about Paul Simon's Graceland today. So that's what we're going to be going through. Fair warning, we use some coarse language or say some offensive things during the show. My name is Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
Fucking A, man. What's going on?
Bit of a hectic week. Got a new job, so super excited about that.
Hell yeah.
So that's fun. It's, sort of kind of I've got a bit of a crash course into my job, and it's been a lot of overwhelming information all at once, and kind of, I had a bit of an issue with the HR, which, to say that they were very helpful, they were very, I feel like HR has like the hardest job because they have to make sure that everything is right as far as procedure and everything goes. However, damn dog. Like, damn dog. Like, I needed to get a thing and they needed evidence of, but I've done, so long story short, I had to get like fingerprinted, like for like background check kind of thing.
Right.
So I had to get my fingerprints, but I had done that a long time ago. And I get like, maybe they don't trust me because I'm new and that kind of stuff, but to get my degree, I had to do this.
Okay.
And so I was, I said like, look, I've done it. I don't know what's going on or why. And I was supposed to start on Wednesday, and then they couldn't find my record. And then Thursday morning, they send me an email like, oh, we finally got it okayed. I was like, yeah, I know. Cause I talked to the government agency that does this, and they said, yes, you have this. And then on Tuesday, and then I talked to the literal company that does the fingerprinting, and they said, yes, you've done it. And so I don't know how, I don't know, bureaucracy. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel your pain there.
Yeah, so it was frustrating on that side, but everyone that I work with now has been nothing but amazing. Like, they've been super helpful, super nice. Like, everybody I work with has been done nothing but bend over backwards to make me feel comfortable at home and to help me out with my new job. So big shout out to everybody I work with at my new job that will never hear this. But, no, it's just super, super cool people.
Fucking A, man. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Also, on top of that, as well as, my girlfriend is getting surgery next week, so she's been kind of stressed about that, and her landlord's selling her house.
Ah.
So, long story short, she has to move into my house, kind of last minute.
Right.
And so we've been kind of doing that today. We're going to do that tomorrow, just trying to get all her crap out of her house in here and rearrange and set up. So it's been a kind of a hectic week in general because we need to get that done because she has surgery on Wednesday, and it's layers on layers of nonsense. So it's just so much crap is going on. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, fucking A, man.
But we're getting it done. We're getting it done.
Yeah. Good luck on that.
One day at a time. Alcohol helps.
Yeah.
Anyway, how about you, Bubba?
Well, I had an interesting week as well. Well, interesting day, I should say. Evening, I should say. I don't know. I don't really have, like, a social circle up here. Like, I don't have friends. Kyle is the closest friend, and he's like 40 minutes away and has like 3 kids, and so we don't hang out but every couple of months, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on the interwebs and like an open mic night, because I used to do that with Richard, and it was a lot of fun, and I met a lot of people that way, made new friends that way. Don't really talk to any of them, but still, like, I mean, I had any signs, and that was cool, right?
And yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Get your Mandate on.
Yeah. And it's like, that's how I got closer to George, right?
That's how we fell in love.
And that's how we fell in love. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I figured, this would be a good thing to do. And it was, interesting. There was a house band that just runs it, right? And so you can just kind of go up and play if you want. They'll call you up and be like, hey, do you want to play tonight? Cool. We'll call you up whenever we want to have some people up, and you can either go solo or the band will fucking back you. And which was funny because even if they don't know the song, they'll just fucking go for it. And
oh, cool. Yeah.
It doesn't always sound great, but hey, they'll fucking go for it, right? Which is interesting. And this is
like when you have sex with like a new person, you don't know exactly what to do, but
yeah. That's
you gotta feel it out, you know?
It's not a terrible analogy, but it's like two guitar players and a bass player and a drummer. And so I went up and I played solo, and I was received pretty well. And like the guys were like, well, we want to fucking play some blues jams with you at the end of the night, because I guess at the end of the night, once everybody's done, they just kind of invite whoever wants to come up and jam out with the band, whatever, and just have a good old jam. And so, they were like, yeah, come up at the end of the night and have a blues jam with us. And this place closes. It was at a fucking pizza restaurant, and this place closed at like 11. So,
okay.
It was a Thursday night, so I was still home at midnight, right? For sure. This is in a town over that's like 30 minutes away. So I did that. And I talked to some people. I was one of the youngest people there. The other person that was there's probably two other people that played that were around my age. One of them was like kind of like a Matthias type. You know what I mean? You know who I'm talking about? Matthias, that used to come and do a bunch of folk songs at open mic. Tasha's friend?
Yeah, kind of a hippy dippy type.
Yeah, so he had like a pink acoustic guitar with like a bunch of hippie stickers on it, like Make Peace and like a dove and shit like that.
Yeah. And
he was, he struggles with the singing parts, like he struggles being on key, but the kid had heart, right? Like A for effort all the way around. And, he could strum his chords all right and keep time all right. He's just not a terribly good singer. But whatever, like, no biggie. It's a fucking open mic night. Who gives a shit? People still clap, and it was super inviting. But I did have a conversation with an older lady that was there with her husband, and her husband plays like country guitar. And I was outside smoking a cigarette and talking to this lady, and she said something like, yeah, a few weeks ago there was a few colored men that came in, and they sounded amazing, and it was like one of those just like nuanced, slightly racist remarks. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna let that slide and not say anything. Because she could have just said,
I like how you said slightly racist. That's super racist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was well-meaning, and I feel like because, she was complimentary of them, but she didn't have to say colored. She could have just said, yeah, we had a few musicians come in a couple weeks ago that were together that were really good. Like she didn't have to bring race into it.
To qualify it in that way?
Right. But I figured it was just like she's of her time kind of thing, where like she probably grew up in like the 70s and shit when like that was racial tensions were like super high, especially up here in the like Midwest. So it was a little uncomfortable after that, but I just kind of tried to play it cool, right? The other really cool thing was the people that ran the thing, like the house band, the husband and wife that kind of like ran the sound for it and all that stuff. They own a recording studio, and they also have a fucking hot sauce company, and they make the TJ Miller's branded hot sauce. You know who I'm talking about?
Get the fuck out of here, for real.
Dude, okay, I'm not joking. This woman like pulled up pictures on her phone with them hanging out with TJ Miller, because he came in to their recording studio to like record commercials when he was doing Aflac commercials.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was an interesting fact. And then, the highlight, Yeah, it was pretty funny. I was like, that's really fucking hilarious. So they make his hot sauce, and if you go online, for $30, you can buy a signed bottle, because he comes into town in Valparaiso, which is where this was. He comes to town a couple of times a year and will like sign a bunch of fucking bottles of hot sauce and hang out with these people. So if I keep going to this, there's a off chance that I'll run into fucking TJ Miller.
How cool. Wow. That's super neat. And
then
random. But
there
fun.
was one other part of the night that was probably the coolest part of the night for me was, these people that own the recording studio. The guy, is one of the guitar players, and he was playing a, 1967 Telecaster. So, I got to get up during the blues jam, and he let me borrow his Tele because I had taken an acoustic, and the electronics had crapped out anyway, so I wasn't even playing my own guitars. And so I got to jam out on a fucking 67 Telecaster, which, is pretty fucking cool, because that's a guitar I'll never be able to afford.
Neat?
Yeah. I know. It'll mean something to guitar nerds, which don't listen to this show, but it meant a lot to me, because I was just like, this is really fucking cool. So for me, that was like a cool aspect, It's like driving an old hot rod. It's just fucking special in its own way.
I don't know what that means. That sounds fun. I guess that's, I don't know, like driving like a 67 Stingray or something like that. Yeah, it's akin to that. Like, it's special in its own way if you're into it. If you're not into guitars, it doesn't fucking mean anything, but it did to me, so. Anyway. Right on. Well, fun. Right on. I'm glad you had a good time socializing. Yeah,
it was fun.
Right on. Good stuff. Right on. Speaking of mild racism, you want to get into Paul Simon's Graceland?
Yeah. That's an appropriate segue. Yeah.
Oh, it's more so than you think.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this was an interesting album.
Interesting, yes. As a whole, I can't put my finger on why I like this album, but I really like this album.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I like it, but I fucking really like it. It's got a lot of, for me, it's like all over the place.
Yeah.
It does a good job as far as going to different places, as far as different songs go. But it's not as, I would say it's not as varied as, Yellow Brick Road, but it's in that style that it is varied, but it hones in on those varied tones throughout. Yeah,
it does.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel ya. I would agree. Man, it's interesting for sure. He must have like, I don't know much about Paul Simon, but he must have like gone to visit South Africa or something, because man, that theme pops up time and time again.
Oh yes, he did. Oh, you hit have you not? You haven't done any research?
Oh fuck no. You know me.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yes, he absolutely did, and this album is a bit on the controversial side because of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally see why.
No, not because of the South African feel, but because of what he did because of it. So, well, let's just get into it. So let's just get into this album as a whole. So this is the 7th album by Paul Simon, and was actually released, recording on August 24th. It was released August 25th of 1986.
Ah.
So tomorrow it'll be its 33rd anniversary.
Interesting. I mean, this episode won't release until October, but...
Well, we're recording... Well, shut the fuck up.
You're the one that dated the goddamn episode by saying, today is August 24th.
Because it's fun, damn it.
It is a fun fact, I'll give you that.
Yes, it is. And we also have 2 September, which is my brainchild, which is fun. All right? Anyway. So yeah, it released on, literally tomorrow of 86. And, so yeah, it does have heavy South African influences. And it has, there are some words that, there's like musical styles that are very South African, and I'm gonna butcher the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's Isthikathmea,
Sure.
which is derived from the Zulu nation, and that's that kind of chant and stuff like that. And then the Mbanka
Okay.
sound, which is also derived from Zulu. And those are those kind of those South African style songs that come up throughout.
Right.
And then there's a bit of Zydeco going on in here too.
Yeah.
Which is like Louisiana, like he had the accordion in a couple of songs and things like that. So
that was the other real heavy theme here. And that was, man, those are probably my, I probably enjoyed a little bit more. Not for any other reason than I thought they were more like fun, I guess.
For sure, because they're very upbeat. And,
that's a good word for it.
They have that upbeat sound, and they're kind of empowering. And we'll get into the songs themselves, but Zydeco as a whole is very fast.
Yeah.
Whereas the Zulu soundings are more like harmonious and like kind of sway your boom, but like it's kind of like a rhythm thing that gets you hooked, if that makes sense.
Right.
So there's that. So that's kind of where he draws a lot of inspiration. There's also a bit of like for like the guitar parts, I heard a little bit like 1950s rock and roll, like Richie Valens kind of sound for me. There's kind of that throughout, and there's a lot of but this is 80s, so there's some 80s stuff on top.
For sure.
I mean, you can kind of hear it in a couple of songs, but as far as like the composure, as far as composing this album, it is very funky, very all over the place. Yeah. And it's very, very, very good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought this was a fun album to just kind of listen to, and I spent the last few days with it, and I was just like, okay, that not totally fucking not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I didn't need me either.
I was expecting folk, and nope. Nope. Not even a little bit. Just no. It's all South Africa and Zydeco.
Yeah, because Paul Simon is famous for being in Simon and Garfunkel,
right? And
they're like, all their songs are kind of like.
Well, they're
more folky and kind of like
they're fucking folk
singer-songwriter kind of shit, like Hello Darkness, like haunting, really good song, but very good. Yeah, and then he pulls here's some South African beats and some Zydeco.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Wait, what?
So yeah, totally out of fucking left field. I put this album on the first time and I was like, what the fuck? I was fucking really taken aback because I was expecting fucking folk music, like what he's known for primarily. Well, I don't know about his solo career, but what fucking Simon and Garfunkel are known for is goddamn folk music. So that's totally what I was expecting, and this totally hit me sideways. And I don't know, it's not gonna make it into my favorite albums of all time or anything, but I enjoyed the listening experience nonetheless.
I did too, and the real thing about this album is that Paul Simon came out with an album before this one, and it was a disaster. Like, it was real bad.
Okay.
And so between like his really bad album like 3 years before, and he got like divorced, and like he tried to get back with Garfunkel, and that failed out. Like they were on the road and touring, and everything was cool. Like they had a big concert. And then afterward, they were like, okay, well, let's take a tour. And then they fell out. And then he got divorced from Carrie Fisher. And he was married to Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. I saw that on the little Genius notes. And I was like, oh, well, isn't that neat?
Yeah, me too. I was like, what the fuck? So he got divorced. And then this is kind of him, like, putting himself back together.
Okay.
And then kind of reimagining himself in some way. And then, so what he did was,
well, he apparently went on a goddamn spirit quest in Africa.
Well, he got a bunch of mixtapes from different bands in Africa. One of them being Ladysmith Black Mambazo,
right?
Which is a male choir from South Africa.
Okay.
And he heard them and he's like, wow, this is pretty interesting. So what he did was he took a 2-week, trip to South Africa and like hung out and like did some recordings down there. The problem was, at that time, like the apartheid was like real heavy.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of crossed he was like a scab, so he crossed the barrier for like all the other artists. And like, so there was a big backlash because he had gone over there and like recorded with all these people. And that was kind of the issue, is because he crossed the bounds. Like all the musicians were like, no, we're not going to South Africa because we don't agree with apartheid.
Right.
And he went over there. And so that became a thing. And it was also a thing because, what's her name? Linda Rossdale.
Okay.
Linda Rossdale. She also did that too. But it was like when they just made the we're not going there thing.
Okay.
She was signed up to sing, or somebody dropped out and she decided that she was going to do that. And then it was like, oh, and then they said, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to South Africa because of apartheid. And she was like, well, I kind of committed, so I feel like I had to do it. And then she does lyrics. She's in this album as well. So it kind of came out like, oh, they did apartheid. But in his defense, Paul Simon made a deal with a lot of the South African artists to come to America to record, and he would pay triple their pay. Okay. To get them to come, like, hey man, I'll pay your way and I'll pay you triple what backup artists get paid just because XYZ.
Right. Well, and that's probably a lot of fucking money because, especially during that time, there's probably not making a whole lot of money for fucking black people in South Africa anyway at that time, right?
Well, it's more of he paid. No. What he's saying is he paid for the travel to come out of South Africa to like New York.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like they're probably in a bad way back home anyway, so this is probably a good thing for them all the way around, right?
Sure.
I'm gonna guess.
I assume so, yes, but I couldn't confirm or deny about any of that.
Yeah, I'm not a historian either. I know that was a bad time in history for that country.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I feel really bad because I could have spent like a week and a half just researching this album and the whole schema and everything, like what was going on in that country. I feel really bad because I didn't do a lot of research I could have done more research, which kind of sucks.
Hey man, I didn't either. I'm talking out my ass about history and I could be totally ignorant of this, which is probably offensive, but hey, I'm trying to be sympathetic towards the people that were involved with the making of this album, regardless of how the culture was at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. And, like for instance, there's a story about, one of the saxophone players named Barney, Rockabane.
Okay.
And, they were recording all day. Like they started at noon and he was a saxophone player. And by about 5 o'clock, like he's like, look, I have to go home. Like I can't be on the streets. I can't take public transportation to get home.
Right.
So, like, somebody has to take me as a human being in a car to my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like that. Like, I didn't realize the gravity of apartheid until I read that. I was like, he had to be home at 5? Every day?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking wild.
That's crazy. Like, and again, he couldn't take public transportation.
Right.
So after 5 p.m., he had to somebody in a car had to drive him home because he couldn't be on the street.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking. That's nuts. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fucking rough. So I'm sure they absolutely enjoyed their time in America. I mean, the 80s aren't amazing, but it's not smack in the middle of like Jim Crow,
For sure. And
just as an aside, I'm looking at this track list on Genius, and when I looked on Spotify, I assumed a bunch of this stuff was added because it was like the 25th anniversary. So I stopped at, I want to say All Around the World.
That's where I stopped.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't do the demos or the story of Graceland as told by Paul Simon. I didn't do those.
I didn't either. And there's other like controversies. Like there was a band that Los Lobos that like sued them for something or other.
Well, they're on that. Yeah, they're on that last track.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. Like there's a lot that went on with this album as far as just controversies and things like that. So like I said, I wish I would have spent a week with just this album, just doing research, because there's so much to say about this album.
Well, but, it's probably one of those
Paul
like.
Simon, well, hey, you want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Paul Simon does a really, really good interview with NPR about this entire album and the making of this album and all the things.
Okay.
So just research it on NPR, and he talks, I think, it was like an hour and a half about this album and everything that went on with it, about why he wrote it and all that kind of stuff. So it's out there. So if you're really interested in this album, if you really like this album and you want to know more, NPR's got it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Also won the 1987 Grammy for Best Album.
Yeah, so I guess that's where I lost my train of thought, was when you started talking about fucking NPR. I guess since this album is surrounded in controversy, but it was a massive hit, it's one of those like any press is good press kind of thing, because people were upset that he did this, which all that did was get the name of all that did was put this album into more people's ears, because they were hearing about all this controversy. So they're like, well, let me listen to this thing. And then people enjoyed it. So I assume that actually helped with some of the success, despite a lot of the community being like, hey, it's fucked up that you're doing this,
I think, honestly, I don't know, but I see it in the reverse, where it was a really good album, and then people went like, what? Well, okay, this is a really good album. How did he make it? And then they found out after XYZ.
I don't know,
or I don't know. It could have been both at the same time.
I don't know, because it won a Grammy in '87, the year after its release. And
well, technically it would be in the Grammy season, because it was released in August.
So I mean, like, I guess what I'm thinking is, he's a famous musician at this point. Yeah, he might have had a failure with his last release and his divorce and all that stuff, but he's still a very famous musician at this point. So I imagine that him going to South Africa is what's in the just in the first place was the news to other musicians while he was recording it, that they were all like, hey dude, what the fuck are you doing? And so in my fucked up reality of it is like, he's getting all this backlash in the process of doing it, and other musicians are stirring the pot. So when this thing is released, like, people are expecting it and waiting for it. And it's one of those, again, any press is good press kind of thing. But who the fuck knows? I didn't listen to the NPR thing, and you did, so you're probably more correct.
I couldn't tell you the trends of why it was so good. All I know is it outbeat Whitney Houston.
Okay, well there you go.
And that was, I Want to Dance with Somebody was a big hit, and it got the Grammy for that.
Right.
For 87.
Right.
Because Whitney put out her album in 86. But, anyway.
Well, let's get the fuck into it.
Alright, so, let's go ahead and begin with, the Boy in the Bubble.
Oh, we're like 30 minutes into this, and we're just now getting into this, but... Alright, let's do it. Boy in the Bubble.
Yeah, this hit me sideways. Like, this opening is so different. Cause it has it starts out with the accordion and then like the French horn.
Yeah.
And then it has that striking drum beat, which is kind of a stark opening. Like, I didn't expect, that to happen. Like,
okay.
It kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, oh shit. Shit's real.
Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting opening to the album, definitely. So yeah, it's a good song. It's probably not going to be in my favorites, but it's fun. And it's not. I don't know. it took me a while to pick up on lyrics in this album. And the lyrics of this aren't like super fun, but I don't know. It's an interesting song. It's a good way to introduce the album, I think, because it does hit you. It does come at you from left field, and that's what this whole album is just hitting you sideways. It kind of smacks you sideways.
Yeah, for sure. The lyrics I really like. He's talking about kind of like just the idea that society and technology are moving so fast,
right,
that it's hard to kind of keep up with. And like the opening track, this was written in 86 or 85? 86. And, a war zone and, he's talking about an IED.
Yeah.
And the
in
opening
a fucking
line.
baby carriage.
Yeah, he's talking about IED. And I was like, holy shit, this sounds like fucking Iraq. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of like pseudo-prophetic, and I kind of, that threw me off because he was talking about like the sands and the sands and the dunes and all that kind of stuff, and how there's a war zone and everybody's like okay with that, but there's like high technology.
Yeah.
Super, I don't know. It kind of took me aback.
Yeah.
And, honestly, it has one of the best lines in the songs. Like, it says, "These are the days of miracle and wonder. Medicine is magic and magical art."
Right.
And he says, the boy in the bubble and the boy with the baboon heart.
Right. So.
And that made me think of you so hard because of that funny ass story.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that worked at our restaurant that convinced that little blonde that he had a fucking baboon heart. It was a great day. It was a wonderful Sunday. Yeah. So yeah, this has got some serious tones to it. Like I said, I thought that the music side of it was like, I don't know, the music side of it doesn't rein in how kind of dark the lyrics are.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It kind of is because he has that, I don't know if it's like a sousaphone or a French horn that has that womp 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 womp
it does, but it's not like the whole fucking song is like overly minor, where it's like you've got this like, I don't know, dark,
like a sad.
Yeah, it's not like
sad
this
sound to it.
But even then, it's also not like, I don't know, I'm gonna go video game music here and say it's also not like boss level music, where it's like super dark and ominous. The music isn't like that either. It's kind of, I guess you're right, it's not super happy either, but it's kind of middle of the road, so.
Well, that's what he's saying, is that, he's basically saying, technology is kind of a gift and a curse. Everything's moving so fast, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of, I don't know, I really like the complexity of this song, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it until I read the lyrics, and I was like, oh man, like, this is a super heavy song.
Yeah, it's definitely,
textured.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Layers on layers, Hal.
Layers
on layers. Yeah. Anyway, I really, honestly, the baboon heart, I thought of you immediately. I was like, man, if this isn't Andrew's line of the song, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
No, understandably so. It takes me back. It was a great Sunday.
Anyway,
so
let's go ahead and move on to Graceland.
Yeah. Where are you with this?
Me? I don't know. It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of what I think Paul Simon should be.
Okay,
It's kind of a bluesy, kind of southerny sound. It's like a folksy sound to it.
It's the closest to what you would think Paul Simon would produce on this album.
For sure. Like, this is what I expect Paul Simon to produce.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I do like, basically he's just talking about, he's looking for redemption and solace in Graceland. That's
right.
where he has to go to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of all fucking places, right?
Yeah, well, but, I'm going to Graceland, Tennessee, cause he's just looking for solace, cause, again, about his life being kind of chaotic years before, he just wants to look for somebody or some place that gives him, I don't know, just redemption. Not so redemption, but a reprieve from life. And just for
I
like a
suppose
soul-searching
so.
thing.
Like, I mean, he refers to this trip as a pilgrimage, really. So it's got a lot of religious overtones to it, in one way, shape, or another. And like, I don't know, man, it was, again, what I musically what I expect from Paul Simon, but at the same time, like, I guess I wasn't expecting those kinds of religious overtones applied to what he's calling like a musical pilgrimage, right? Like, he's going to Graceland, and then he's talking about like his traveling companions with, like, you know, their ghosts and their his daughter from his first marriage, and like, I don't know. It was an interesting song for sure.
It really is. It really is. And it's weird that this is the title track.
Yeah.
Because this is the only song that sounds like that on this entire album.
One of these things is not like the other.
Exactly. And that's why they're, let's call it Graceland,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
We can sell it. Oh, I didn't even talk about the artwork, because the artwork's like from, it's like an Ethiopian, it was an Ethiopian pilgrim that a Christian, a pilgrim from Ethiopia who drew that or painted it in the 1500s.
Okay, yeah, it's like a missionary.
That's the word.
That's what it is. It's like a fucking Christian missionary. And I was confused because you were saying it's an Ethiopian, and I was like, no, that's a Christian missionary. You're saying an Ethiopian painted it.
He went to Ethiopia in the 1500s and painted that. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. So there's that. I do like, there is also another controversy about, the term human trampoline.
Yeah. So that was a really interesting line, because even in the lyrics, he says there's a girl in New York that calls herself the human trampoline. And then he even says, and sometimes when I'm falling, flying, or tumbling in turmoil, I say, oh, so this is what she means. Like, even he's like addressing this isn't what you think.
Yeah, it's the, it's the kind of just the oscillations of life, like the strikes and gutters, the highs, the low. Like, when you're high, you're like, oh my god, this is so fun. And then you fall, like, oh shit, the ground is coming up really bad.
Yeah, but like, when you think of human trampoline, you think
everybody gets to jump.
Yeah.
The sex stuff.
Yep. That's exactly where your mind goes to first. And he even addresses that by saying, whoa, so this is what she means. Like
it's more textured than the penis and the vagina.
Right. It's deeper than you can go. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. This song, I don't know.
This song doesn't stop at 8 inches.
It does not. And I like it. I like this song, and I can't put a finger on why I like it, but I do.
I thought it was I don't know. I thought it was just catchy. This is a catchy song.
Yeah, it's catchy. It does say like it's kind of heavy too. I don't know. This whole album has got me fucked up.
Yeah.
Anyway, this whole album's got me fucked up. Anyway, so let's go on to I Know What I Know.
Yeah.
Okay. So for this song, here's where we get introduced into the South African sound.
Right.
And so the first time I heard this, I thought of two things.
Okay.
I thought of Izimbra by the Talking Heads.
Ah, all right.
That kind of sound. And I also thought of the band Vampire Weekend, because they have...
Go on.
They just, like, the tone, not so much like the South African stuff that goes on, but like the tone, like the mood of the song is very much Vampire, if anybody's listened to Vampire Weekend, like, it's kind of in that vein. It feels like that's what they drew inspiration from, was one of these, is kind of this album for the whole... And they kind of play this kind of beat and melody and things like that.
Yeah, so this does introduce us to like the African tones, but this is one of the least heavy with those tones, right?
No. This is the hey, this is the putting the tip in.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Hey.
It really is, because this is like, this is still kind of retaining some of his like folk roots, and kind of some poppiness to the song, but you're getting introduced to some of the themes that are going to come later. And I don't know, this song really works for me.
Yeah.
Just in everything about it, really. It's about being independent. Like, I know what I know. I say what I say. I am who I am.
It's a sassy bitch just talking like, hey, I am what I am. I know what I know.
Yeah. And so I don't know. This one just hit me good in a really good way.
Yeah. This is a sassy independent lady.
Yeah, for sure.
There are themes in this song or in this album about, there's a lot of themes, I guess, in a lot of these songs that are about women are strong and independent. I mean, there's an entire song that's not in English about women being strong and independent. Anyway, but catchy ass song. Like this
it really
is the song that got me. I was like, oh, okay, we're getting serious.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
it really is. It was a good song.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Gumboots.
Yeah.
What do you think, buddy?
This is fun.
This is fun. Yeah. This is the introduction to the Zydeco feel.
Yep.
There's some accordion, there's some spoons, there's stuff like that. I
really liked. Okay. I really liked. There's a verse in here. I'm just gonna say the whole thing because it's a great verse. I really, really enjoyed it. I was walking down the street. I thought I heard a voice this way say, "Ain't we walking down the same street together on the very same day?" And I said, "Hey, señorita, that's astute." I said, "Why don't we get together and call ourselves an institute?" I fucking love that last line. It just made me laugh, and this song is just fun.
For me, this song, like, it feels like for me, it's like he's having different conversations.
Yeah.
Or, like, he's, like, reliving a conversation that he had. Like, when you like, talk in the shower?
Yeah.
Like, when you're in the shower and you're like, man, I wish I would have said this. Like, I was arguing with this person. Man, I should have said this. And damn it, I now look like an asshole because I said this thing instead of this thing. Shit.
Yeah, I get
what I mean?
you.
Like,
I didn't think of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I like that breakdown.
That's what this whole song is. It's like, fuck, man, I said this. I should have said that, bitch. Like,
yeah, I don't know. This song made a good impression on me. I liked it.
It's good. It's good. Honestly, this has the line of my song. This song has the line of the album for me.
Okay.
It is, believing I had supernatural powers, I slammed into a brick wall.
Yeah. It slammed into a brick wall? Yeah.
Slammed into a brick wall. Yeah, I thought I was Superman until I hit that fucking brick wall and I said, nope. Yeah. For me, that's the line of the album. Cause it's, yep, I'm one to overcommit or overwork myself for things.
Okay.
And that wall comes up fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you brought up the line of the album for me about the baboon heart, so just because that pegs a very specific, amazing memory.
I'm not saying that has to be your line of the album.
I know.
I wish I hope it was.
No, because you nailed it. I didn't have to fucking bring it up. You just knew. Anyway. I do like that the horns and the harp that come in on this song too. Those are fun. Like, they come in appropriately, and then but again, out of left field. Like, you just, what the fuck? There's a goddamn saxophone, and then they put in the harp. What the fuck is going on? Like, with the Zydeco song? So, this album keeps you on your toes at all times. Yeah, that it does. That it really does though, Brack.
It really does, Brack. Yeah. So we move on to Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes.
Right.
And we come back to the South African thing.
We do.
Because there's that chant at the beginning of the song.
Yep.
And the loose translation to that chant is, it's not usual, but in our days, we see these things happen. They are women. They are women. They can take care of themselves.
Okay.
Which
sure.
kind of leads into the album. I mean, not the album, but it kind of leads into the song. Yeah, for sure. Cause like, she's a rich bitch, but she knows what she wants and she can get whatever she wants and she wants to this urchin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the title, right? Like, diamonds on the soles of her shoes. So like, she's got so much money that it's fuck you money. Cause she's walking on diamonds. Like, literally walking on diamonds is what the metaphor is here. So it's quite literally fuck you money. And I think it's funny, because, I mean, a lot of diamonds come out of Africa, homie, South Africa specifically.
Yeah, Sierra Leone is a thing.
Yeah. So like, I think there's even more of a statement here than, or maybe not. Maybe he didn't even fucking think about that. Maybe that thought didn't even fucking cross his mind. Yeah, she's rich. She can do whatever she wants, and she can be with a fucking street rat if she wants to, and sleep in a goddamn doorway. It doesn't even matter.
I think you're misinterpreting. I think, from what I think, this song is that it's not so much the money, it's the attitude. Like, she is a strong woman who can do whatever the fuck she wants.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like, she might happen to be rich. It might not be money-wise, exactly. Well, I mean, it is money-wise, but it's just a strong woman who knows what she wants, and she's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants to do.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, I fucking love this song, dude. Like, I really love this song.
Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I think it's a good song too. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, and you're not wrong.
Just a woman who knows what the fuck she wants, and she's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's pretty much all I gotta say. It's a great song, and I love the chanting, like, harmonizing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads into this whole, like, it leads in throughout the song.
Yeah, it does. It's a good song. It's not gonna hit my tops or anything, but it's enjoyable. The themes are fun. It's interesting. Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, do you want to move on to "Call Me Al"?
Yeah. This is a good song for me.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really know why. Lyrically, I don't really care too much about this song. It's an interesting song lyrically, but I just enjoyed the music for, well, I'm going to get back to what you said earlier. For a reason I can't really put my finger on, I just liked this.
But yeah, that's the whole, again, it goes back to like my whole, like, I don't know why I like this album. I can't put my finger on why I like it, but I fucking really like it. And this is one of those, like.
There were a couple of lines that I liked. He ducked back down the alley with some roly-poly little bat-faced girl. I thought that was funny. I'm assuming it's not meant to be funny, but it I don't know, just the line itself kind of hit me in a weird way. I don't know. I don't want to end up in a cartoon or in a cartoon graveyard or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting song lyrically, but just musically, it was just, I don't know, hit me in a way that, like you said, can't really put your finger on. Just good. Good for me.
Which is good, yeah. Oh, no, this is a song about a midlife crisis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pretty much. And for the most part, yeah, it's just,
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Going through a midlife crisis, like, you see, yeah, it's more interesting musically.
I thought so,
than
yeah.
It is, as far as the theme for me.
Yeah, I agree. This was just a fun song for me. I don't know exactly why I like it, but it just resonated. I'm not going through a midlife crisis or anything, but musically this song just did good things for me. So.
Oh, and this is I think this was the hit of the album.
Oh, really?
I think it was this was the title track of the album is "Call Me Al."
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, it makes
I believe
sense.
so.
It's super fucking catchy.
It's catchy as hell. It sounds good. It's just, I don't like, I don't like its tone. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't, it's just, for me, I don't,
Well, then let's just move on. Let's go to Under African Skies.
Under African Skies. So this is the one with, Linda Rossdale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, this is my pee song.
Yeah. Really not my favorite.
Like, I don't like, it's good, but, I don't have anything, I really don't have anything positive to say about it. It sounds good, they harmonize well, like, the music's fine, but I just, I got nothing.
I tend to agree with you here. Surprise, fucking surprise. Like, I don't know. It's not super memorable to me. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my favorite songs are going to be the ones that I can instantly recall in my head and also enjoyed, right? And this is one of those that I have to read the lyrics to recall this. It doesn't just come to mind and I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, I like this song. You know what I mean? So I think P Song's a good way to put it.
Yeah, for me this is my P Song.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll give you that. So let's move on. Move on to
Homeless. So
Homeless.
let's move on to Homeless.
This is this is interesting because this
is where we get balls deep into South Africa.
Yeah, because this is a cappella. There is no music here. It is all vocal with that choir, and it is about half of it is in a different language. And I'm not the biggest a cappella fan, so
okay.
It was a good song. It's just not for me. Is where I'm going to go with that.
Well, unlike you, I enjoy Andy Bernard and the acapella that is around here. I do like it. I don't know, man. It hits me in a weird place. Like I don't know. It hits me in a weird place, and I super like it. I don't know. I don't know why I like it. I just like it. Like I don't. It's like something like super like visceral for me. Like it's just
like primal instinct kind of thing.
Yeah, man. It's like something like
I will say my favorite part of this is not the chorus. My favorite part of this song is the is when he's doing the back and forth with the choir, where he's doing the somebody say somebody say hello, right? Like the why, like that. For me, that's my favorite part of the song is when he's doing the back and where he's pitching them their cues, right? And I thought that was a lot of fun. But again, it's just not overall not the song for me. I think it has its moments, but and again, I think it's a good song, just not.
It's a good song, and it's more of a traditional song, if that makes sense. Because even in the lyrics, they say something about "we beat the British, we beat the Dutch, we're free," right, or something like that. Like how they got their freedom, and we are homeless. Like we sleep on the mountains, we sleep here, and it's traditional music for the most part. So, but I don't know, man. It's something primal in me likes this song. Okay. I don't know. I guess being like a percussion guy, like that, the hard beat is something that I just can't not respect. You know what I mean? Like, give me a good beat, man. I get sucked in.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's go on to Crazy Love Volume 2. I'm
not entirely convinced that I listened to this more than a couple of times because I don't remember it at all.
This is I feel like this is the most 80s song on this album.
Okay. I'm even reading the lyrics and nothing about this is ringing a bell. I don't know if I've actually listened to it or not.
Okay, well, this song again is in my notes I have Vampire Weekend. So this is again a song that sounds like Vampire Weekend.
Okay.
Again, I heard them first. I'm not saying vice versa, but I heard Vampire Weekend first. But this screams them, and this is the most 80s of all the songs because it has like the synthy stuff, and I don't know. It's about a divorce or something like that, and like
Sure.
About love and stuff like that. For the most part, I don't remember a lot about this song because I didn't like it that too much.
I'm not actually convinced I've heard this. So, so it's either that forgettable or I didn't hear it.
Didn't hear it. Yeah, it's not a bad song. It very much is like, I don't know. Again, the only thing I can remember is that, it's Vampire Weekend heavy.
Okay. Well then, let's fucking move on to,
That Was Your Mother.
That Was Your Mother. What do you think about this?
Man, he's talking about Lafayette. He's like, man, this is Zydeco. We come back to Zydeco.
Uh-huh.
And, whooshia.
Uh-huh.
Whooshia.
Uh-huh.
I really like this song.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yep.
a lot.
Yep.
Not my favorite song on the album, but it's pretty close.
Man, this is like the most fun song on the album.
Mm-hmm. It's Zydeco Honky Tonk.
Oh yeah, man, and this one has some lines too. I like She's as Pretty as a Prayer Book, and then if that's my prayer book, Lord, let us pray.
Let us pray.
Yeah. Man, that was a good verse for me.
That is, yeah. It was a toss up between that one and the If I Was Superman, I Hit My Head on the Wall.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, Baboon Heart abstaining. That's where this is really my line of the album.
Oh yes, well,
because
thank you,
dude. It's man. This was good. This was great. I shouldn't say it's good. This was fucking great. I loved it.
Fucking great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this was great. It's very, very Cajun in its themes and in its music and in everything about it. He's even talking about being in Louisiana and like, drink a little red wine, catch a little bit of those Cajun girls. He's talking about his life as like a young single man in fucking in Louisiana, and visiting Louisiana and like meeting. You know, it's almost like the lyrics on this are almost like he's talking to his kid. 'Cause he's like, before you was born, when life was great. And like, which is just like the best slight. It's right up there with, the best part of you ran down the side of my leg, right? Like, it's a really funny slight. And then he follows that up with like, I sure do love you. Let's get this straight. But still, I don't know, man. This was great. I liked, this reminds me of when I've visited, fucking New Orleans and, just had a blast every time I've been. So, taking in the culture and the food and like the nightlife and all that shit and like walking around and going to, different museums and shit and during the day and stuff like that. Like, so I don't know, this hits some, this is like a huge dopamine serotonin release for me. 'Cause it plays on memories and shit. So I love this. Plus the music's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. I completely agree.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to take over there. Just
no. Hey, man, I'm glad you gushed about it because I'm glad you had a good time. It was a fun one. And yeah, he's standing in the corner of Lafayette, drinking looking to just drink some red wine.
Yeah.
It was fun. Pretty much sums it up. Yeah. Speaking of when you said best part of you ran down your mom's leg, it made me think of the sheriff in the Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever watch those movies?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, but like once a long time ago, so they're vague memories.
Yeah. He's got some good like, I think it's Rooster, oh fuck, I can't remember his name. Jackie Gleason is who it is. He's the sheriff.
Oh,
and he's got some dunce as I guess his son, as his deputy, yeah. And he's like, oh goddamn. There's great lines in that movie. Like, one of the lines is, when we get home, I'm gonna slap your mama in the mouth. He's got really good lines about talking shit about his son, which my dad has said to me.
Hey man, It is what it is, right?
It's true. Okay, you get home, I'm gonna slap your mama in the mouth by the way you acted. Anyway, so let's go on to All Around the World or The Myth of Fingerprints.
Right.
Right. I don't remember this song at all.
Okay.
I don't at all. Yo, man, they hit the Zydeco hard, and I just went, and I tuned the fuck out right after that.
Well,
I hate to say that, but
this has a little bit of that in it too. It's not the same though. And yeah, this is I vaguely remember this song, but this isn't hitting on all cylinders the way that Was Your Mama is. So,
yeah.
So yeah, bad placement to try and follow up that fucking wonderful thing before it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say more about this song. I genuinely do not. I have no notes about it.
I'll put it this way. This song, I remember this song when I hear it, and then it kind of fades away outside of that. Like, I hear the song and I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't bad. This is a decent song. And then when it goes away, I'm like, okay, but it's not that memorable.
It's like that one song in the Michael Jackson album, like, that's in the middle, like Off the Wall, you're like, oh yeah, that one. But then we go into, Get on the Floor.
Yeah. But this is like the last song on the album, so they should have put it before That Was Your Mother.
Yeah, man, I really don't remember this at all. Like, I'm looking at the lyrics and I don't even have notes on it.
Yeah, I didn't write notes for this album. But I'm looking at the lyrics and I'm like, yeah, I remember this, but vaguely. So I don't know. Anyway, let's just call it then, and I don't know.
Hi, well, let's call it. Let's do ready to do top 3?
Sure.
Do you want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my number 3 is going to be Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes.
Okay.
For sure. Because I love that I don't know, man. It hits me weird, and it hits me weird, and like it's a fun song. I don't know. It has that fun beat, and then it like the chanting kind of thing with like the harmonizing and all that stuff, and then I just like the what he's talking about in the song is just some broad who knows what she wants, strong woman who knows what she wants, and yeah, I'll put diamonds on the soles of my shoes.
Okay.
Hell yeah, but I know what I want, and I don't know, just strong woman. I like a song about a strong woman.
I feel you, man. What's your number 2?
Number 2 would be Boy in the Bubble. Because, nope, I lied. My number 2 is going to be I Know What I Know.
Okay.
Because, again, it starts that South African beat that we get into. I guess the beat. Like, I don't know, man. I like that a lot.
All right.
I can't tell you why. It's sassy lady. And it's just a tit for tat, like a sassy conversation.
Yeah.
And it has, I don't know, it hits me weird. But my number 1 is going to be, Your Mother, for sure. Yeah. Number 1 is going to be Your Mother, for sure.
Yeah.
That Was Your Mother, for sure. Like, don't get her fucked up.
Yeah.
What about you, buddy?
Man, we are not far off on this one. Yeah. The only thing that's different is our number 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 is You Can Call Me Al.
You can call me Al.
Yeah. Number 2 is I Know What I Know, and number 1 is That Was Your Mother, because of course it fucking is. That Was Your Mother is the best song on the album. Hands down.
Hands down.
Like,
oh man.
No fucking contest.
It's all the young, it's All the Young Girls Love Alice of the album. Yeah,
it's fucking great. I will say, You Can Call Me Al did have to beat out Gumboots, because for some reason I just really like that song.
Which one?
Gumboots.
You Can Call Me Al. Oh, Gumboots. Oh, no, it's a great, again, the
but you can Call Me Al just kind of beats it out just by a little bit. I don't know, maybe they're tied. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious what the fucking good songs on this album are.
But I mean, I don't feel like there's a peace song. Well, like there's not a bad song.
There is.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the peace song was Crazy Love, wasn't it?
No.
Or Under African Skies. You called one of these songs Under African Skies, maybe. You called one of these songs a peace song.
Under African Skies is my peace song.
Right.
It's not a bad song.
Yeah, I don't think
it's just
I don't think there's a bad song on the album. I just don't think they're all good either. I think there's some mediocrity here.
There's a bit, but again, like, it draws me in, like I've listened to this a couple of times, and every listen that I do, it's like, I'm drawn into it. And like, it was, you know, honestly, as an album, this is a great album.
Yeah.
It's a really good album. And until I had to break it down song to song, that's where it got weird to me.
Okay.
Because I'd listened to it like through, like, completely as an album, but then like breaking it song to song to song, that's when it got tedious to me.
Okay.
As an album, as a whole, this is a great album. But like taking it apart song by song by song, it was really hard for me to, cause I don't know what it is about this album that I really like. I can't put my finger on why I like this album. And like, it's hard to dissect something that you can't understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this album is just something that I really can't understand, and I really can't communicate as to why I like it, but I fucking really like it. Right. So like, even my peace song, I really like that song, and then it goes in, because it bleeds from African Skies to Homeless, and then that whole beat, I don't know, man. I hate that we do, this is hard to do song to song. Like, for me, this is the hardest album to go from song to song to song. Okay. Because the whole album is just really good collectively. Okay. You know? Sure. Yeah. I can't, I don't know, I just can't put my finger on why I really like this album. But I really like this album. Sure. Yeah. I don't know, man. This album is different. This album is attention grabbing. It really fucking makes your ears perk up and go, wait, what is this? What is this? This is good. Okay, I like this. It's pleasant on the ears, and in the same time, it's different than anything you've ever fucking heard. Right, so, like it's tension grabbing in like a very subtle way. I don't know if I'd call it subtle, but it is very attention grabbing in different ways, because like, fuck, who starts an album with a fucking accordion, and a fucking French horn? Like, what the fuck? That's why I wouldn't really call it subtle. But it's attention grabbing, but in the right kind of ways, because it is so, man, it's so easy to listen to. It's pleasant to listen to. Yeah. Plain and simple. Like, this song makes your ears feel good. It really does. But it's also way the fuck out of left field and hits you sideways and like grabs your attention by the balls and says, listen the fuck up, motherfucker. So that's why it's good for me. Yeah. And like, again, like in the fact that it's varied in different directions. Like, it's, you know, you got the South African, you got the Zydeco, you got, and like Graceland's like a folky song. There's a song that has like one of the songs like has a fun, like it almost sounds like La Bamba, like for the guitar part, like for real, like no, there's that little riff in there somewhere. I don't remember which song it is, but there's that. And there's one song that has like a fucking bomb ass bass line just right in the middle. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And he just does these little tweaks, like what the fuck, like oh, you're losing interest? Here's this bomb ass bass line, like what? Oh shit. Oh. And we're back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I feel like it's almost manipulative to make me like it. You know what I mean? Like, he's toying with my emotions. Okay. Like, to make me come back to the song, because if I lose interest, like, oh, hey, put that there. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I really like this album. I'm gonna rate it real high. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it an 8.25. 8.25. All right. 8.25. Mm-hmm. All right. Man, I'm not far off. I was at an 8. I was kind of like, man, honestly, I was debating 7.5, 8. So yeah, I'm right there with you. It's a great fucking album. I can't tell you why, but it's more of a feel than it's more physical than cerebral. You know what I mean? Man, it's just good. It's more of a feel. It's a fucking feeling album. Like, you know, you got a feely album. Yeah, 100%. It's really fucking good. It's good. It's great. So with that, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else? No. What are we doing next time, Bubba?
Well, this album, I know I didn't say this at the front of the episode. This is number 80 on the list. Number 79 that we're going to come to next is something that Shane has been looking forward to. It's Bjork, Post.
Post! Yes! Oh, God. Yes. Yes, well. Hell yes. I didn't think she was next. Holy shit. I thought it was Sigaros next.
Nope.
Hell yes.
Nope.
Bjork, Post.
Andrew, the album Post by Bjork is next. And so that's what we're going to be doing next time. Shane is super excited. I'm not familiar with Bjork, so let's fucking find out together, everybody. Listen to that fucking album and let us know how you feel. Listen to this fucking album and let us know how you feel about this.
Put it in words, because we can't. Obviously.
Yeah. So listen to this album. Let us know what you thought about it. And then get fucking prepared for next week, because Shane's gonna cream all over his microphone. Like, it's not gonna be usable when he's done.
I'm gonna fanboy all over this bitch.
Yeah, so if you wanna go ahead and just like send Shane a new microphone, because it's just gonna be gobbledygook by the time he's finished with it.
Oh man.
Anyway.
It's gonna be slimed all over me.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. Ain't no coming back.
So seriously, thank you for listening. You can find us iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, sadpandapresents.com, facebook.com/sadpandapresentspodcast, wherever the fuck you find your podcast. Check us out, rate us, review us. Let us know what we can do better. Let us know what sucks, and tell us what album you want us to listen to on our next break. We break every 5 albums. Tell us what to listen to. We'll do it. Maybe you'll get to come on the show. We don't know. Do that on Facebook. That's the best place to do it. That sends me notifications straight away. None of the other places do. I have to manually check that. It only happens like once a month. So anyway, we'll be talking about Bjork next time. Shane, anything else you want to say?
No. We're good. Thank you for listening, guys.
All right, later.
Bye.